Hello, you lovely, lovely people. Welcome back to the channel. Been a few days since I've been online. But everything is good. Everything is hunky-dory. But it made me think about seeing a video of I can't remember his name actually. Terence, I think his name's Terence. It is Terence, yeah. And his wife Beth. How he's found something in hospital, or he's in hospital, and I think he's having, is it cancer treatment or something like that. But I'm not talking about them at all. It's just being here. We haven't got the backup system that we have, and we've got to bear this in mind, people. And it doesn't matter how old you are. You can be my age, or you can be in your late 50s. You can be 60. It doesn't matter. At some point, most of us will get an illness. The older we get, the more liable we are to have them. And like I said, we haven't got the backup system of England where we can get treatment free on the NHS. Here, nothing is for free, people. Nothing. Right down to the cotton buds that they use, right down to the swab that they will use after they have given you an injection, right down to a plaster. Everything is payable. Everything is chargeable. And I think many of us, me included, I will be the first to admit that I haven't got like a stash of money put away in case of an emergency like that, like a big substantial amount of money. It's something that I'm going to have to think long and hard about, because I don't want to be one of these people where I might get something seriously wrong with me, and yes, I'll probably be treated here, but then how can you pay it? And incidentally, the hospitals do, or some hospitals do, keep you until you pay the bill. It's actually illegal. I've Googled it, I've researched it. It is illegal for them to do that, but they do it. But let's just say, even if they did release you after paying half of your bill or something like that, and it's a big substantial amount of money, how are you going to be able to pay that second half of the money? And if it's ongoing treatment, how are you going to pay for the ongoing treatment? I think it's something that many of us, me included, don't think of getting a serious illness until it's too late. If you have a serious illness here, what many expats do, they fly home and they get treated in their own country. Now, would I do that? Well, I said in a video about a year ago or something that's what I would do. But because I've been out of the UK for 9 years, I don't think I am eligible for the NHS until I've been there for 12 months without leaving or something like that. Now, how would they know that I'd left? I don't know. How would the hospitals know that I'd left? I don't know. But it's something to think about. And I think what we should be thinking about is getting that savings. And it's not just 100,000 pesos we're thinking here. We're talking a substantial amount, much, much, much more than that. Because if we're planning on staying here until we die, then hopefully many of us do, and we don't get a very serious illness where we have to be backwards and forwards to hospital, backwards and forwards to getting treatment, if we haven't got the financial capacity to pay it. Now, I haven't. Let's just say I had a serious illness and I had to keep going back to hospital, and I don't even like saying the word, but for chemotherapy or something like that, then how would I be able to pay that? I don't know how much this sort of treatment is, but I think that Terence's was about 700,000 pesos, I think, the bill. And now he's got to have ongoing treatment as well. Now, they were kind of, I think they got a large following of people, and I think they got a lot of donations. But I wouldn't want to rely on that. In fact, I wouldn't want anyone seeing me in a hospital bed on my deathbed and my wife begging for money for me. It's just me, people. That would be the last thing that I want to, because that would not only take away my dignity, it would take away my pride as well. So, as of now, me and my wife as well, because my wife's got land and she hasn't sold a lot of it, but she's sold some of it, and we've been investing it in this land here. But I think realistically, we've got to put money away for not just a rainy day, but for the inevitable of getting sick. Because we're all going to get sick at some point. How sick we get, that depends on your DNA, doesn't it? And the lifestyle that you've led up until now, and obviously how old you are. But it's just food for thought, people. And I think a lot of foreigners, when they come here, and I said I was one of them, I didn't really think about getting sick. I mean, motorbike with no baffles in going past. The only thing that I've had here is a hernia, which I've still got. I haven't been to the hospital to have it sorted out yet, because it's not giving me any need to, really, at the moment. And this ulcer, which was a very, very cheap fix, if you like. But what if it wasn't that? What if it was something a lot more serious? I mean, an ulcer it's neither here nor there, is it? Or unless it burst or it's bleeding or something like that, but mine wasn't. And it still isn't, and it's getting better. But we have to think about this, not just thinking of having that like $1,000 a month or $1,500 or $2,000 a month to spend. We have to think about putting money aside to pay for something that might happen. Now, many people might think, oh, but it might not happen. But what if it does? What if it does? And most of us have got wives or girlfriends here who couldn't pay our bill. They simply couldn't pay our bill. So it's our responsibility to do this. Put money aside, people, and just keep saving it. You don't have to save it all in one hit, obviously, but over the course of a few years, you saving like 10,000 pesos a month. You're putting that aside for like a few years, or 5 years, and you've got something substantial, something to fall back onto if and when you needed treatment. And I know it's a bit of it's not morbid, is it really? It's reality of living in the Philippines. Something that many of us don't think about. Now, we have PhilHealth. And I think that Terence and Beth were saying that they couldn't get PhilHealth, because he's a foreigner. You can. We've got it. And I think he's on a 13A, just the same as I'm on a 13A, permanent resident. And I think even people on a tourist visa can get it, from what I believe. Now, PhilHealth, it doesn't cover everything, but it covers something. And I think we pay about 20,000 a year. I think it might be less than that. I'm not quite sure. It used to be 17. But it's increased. I think it might be 21. Anyway, it's irrelevant. The fact is that we've got it. Now, let's just say Mira took sick. Now, because she's indigenous, and if Mira went to a public hospital, she would get free treatment. I don't know about operations. It certainly wouldn't be free medication, because you've got to pay for your medication here. But we aren't talking about our partners here. We're talking about us, the foreigner. And I mean, if you've got plenty of money put by, it's okay. But I think for many of us who haven't, it's a serious topic and a serious subject that we should think long, hard, and seriously about. And I think we should be saving money, putting it aside, because we have the intentions of living here till the day we die. Now, touch wood. I'm touching wood now. I'm touching my desk. We live a long life without illness, but the chances of that is kind of slim. It's kind of slim. And the older we get, the more liable we are of getting something. That's that bike going back again. He's gone up the road. I don't know where it's been. It hasn't been very far, and it's come down the road. He'll probably go back up the road in a minute as well. And it's just something that we've got to think about, and we can't. And someone said to me actually the other day, they said, "Have you got like a will made out?" And I haven't got a will made out, but it's something that I will consider doing. It's something that I need to do. But as far as making a will out to the house and the land, is pointless because it's all, as we know, foreigners with the land and houses and things like that. So this is all in her name anyway, in my wife's name anyway. So the will wouldn't be that. What would the will be? It's only if I was to leave money, isn't it? Where would that be divided to? So wills in this country for foreigners, I think, is quite a bit different to what it would be in our own country, because we have to put our house in order, so to speak. Where who gets the house, who gets this, who gets that, right down to the pictures on the wall. I remember when my mum died, and there were so many arguments with family. I just left. I was there for the funeral of my mum. I stayed for a week, and I saw all the relatives coming into the house saying, "I want this, I want that," and they said, "Can we have this?" And I said, "Take what you want." I was disgusted by how family can just come in like vultures, and that's what they were. Now here, it's not going to be like that, is it? It's not going to be like vultures are turning up if I die, because all of this is Mira's anyway. Mira's, Kaylin's, and Zach's. I'm just here. But it's something that I've got to think about. Funeral plans is something that we should think about. Now, you can get a funeral plan here, and I think they're relatively cheap. For me, and I've said this to Mira before, I said, "Mira, when I die, I don't want anything fancy. What's the point? What's the point in spending money when I'm gone anywhere? Spend the money on something else." So you can get funeral plans here for 20, 30,000, 40,000. It depends what you want. Cremations here are much more expensive than a burial. And here it's not a burial as we know it in England. It's like in these, if you've been to the Philippines and you're just blocked up. And if you're in a public cemetery, you don't pay the lease after 5 or 10 years. I can't remember which one it is. They just take you out and they just put your bones in with all the other people who haven't paid the leases. But for me, that wouldn't really bother me. But when I start talking to my wife about things like this, she says, "Oh, don't talk like that. Don't talk like that." And she won't talk about it. But I would like to get things sorted out and get my house in order, if you like. Whereas if anything did happen to me, it's sorted. No heartache, no nothing like that. And here as well, in this, I think in all barangays, but I know in this barangay certainly, if an old person dies, like an old age pensioner, they have something here where every old age pensioner pays in 100 pesos out of their pension. Because they still get pension here. I think it's 3,000 or 6,000 every couple of months or whatever it is. And all the old age pensioners pay 100 pesos into that. So when an old age pensioner dies, they get 10,000. And also the barangay helps, and the mayor always helps with funerals here. They give money, but only for the indigenous people. For us, no. So it's just a video of that. It just made me think, that how many foreigners are here on long term and planning on staying here until they die, and how many have got the funds available if something did happen where they needed to get their hands on that funds immediately to pay for hospital treatment. Like I said, if you have, it's no problem. But for someone like me, it's something that I've got to think about like yesterday. I can't put it off. It's something that we have to do. And we will do it. And that's it, really. It's just a video of that. So, if you hear people, think about that. Think about, because it's not cheap. It's not cheap. In public hospitals, if you went into a public hospital, it'd be a lot cheaper than a private hospital. A heck of a lot cheaper. But would you get the same treatment in a public hospital? Have they got the same facilities in a public hospital to what a private hospital has? That I don't know. Touch wood, I've never had to spend any time in hospitals here. And I don't intend to. I just hope I'm one of these people who just goes like that when the time comes. But we never know. We never know. And there's been a few foreigners here that even I've known who's had a heart attack, a stroke, and they've had to pay a heck of a lot of money if you survive it. If you survive it, because being out here in a province, you're 25 minutes away from a major hospital here. You've got 25 minutes that way to Dapitan. In fact, that's a bit further. That's probably 40 minutes. And 25 minutes to the main hospital in Dipolog. Now, I don't know where these ambulances come from. I don't know if they come from base or if they've got some places around here. Really don't know. But you've got that time as well. So you've got to think, although for me, living in a province is brilliant. I love living in a province and I will be here till I die. I'm sure I will. But I mean, if you've got any kind of underlying problems, serious problems, then maybe living in a province isn't for you because you might be too far away from the medical attention that you might need. And I don't want to try and put you off. I'm just trying to stipulate some facts into it. But that's it, people. I'm going to go and I'm going to be over and out. And whatever you're doing, do it well. And most of all, people, stay healthy. Stay as healthy as you can. And God bless you all, people. And thank you always for watching the videos. Take care, people. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.